way to beat that. Michael Roach is in the Robertson.
It's coming home. It's coming home, Ben. Miller, the curse is finally over. The curse is finally over. Remember, guys, we wrote the rules of the game. We wrote the rules back in, what was it, 150 years ago. We wrote the rules. This win is largely due to the support of you guys. Hey guys, we're back again. Russell Robertson live.
Robertson! Out of nowhere! Robertson! Out of nowhere! Robertson! Out of nowhere!
How are you, mate?
Oh, sensational.
Yeah?
How could you not be after a near 100-point victory last week?
It was big. It was really big.
Yeah, I mean, it was expected, wasn't it? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Robbo Live for another exciting week. What a big week it has been for people of my ilk, or my background, my history, my heritage. My Tasmania has a team. Can you believe it?
Tasmania has a team. Soon.
Soon, and really soon.
Yeah.
I can't believe how quickly it's actually going to happen. Like, there's been murmurings for a few years, hasn't there? But bang, it's happening in what, 2027?
Yeah.
It's going to be, whew, I don't know how Tasmania's going to handle all of this.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen fast. I wouldn't want to be at the bottom of the ladder when they want to take all the draft picks.
No, and that's a thing. I mean, this is the thing that's been talked about a lot this week, is the players that are currently playing at the moment, their opportunities to go down to Tasmania and make some money, of course, because you'll get bigger contracts if you're an established player and free agency and all of that. And the talk has been, are Tasmania allowed to just poach? Can they take players?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to happen. That's a long, long stretch. It's not going to be that kind of money.
Here's a good question for you.
If there was a Tasmanian team back in the day, would you have not been a D? If there was a Tasmanian team, you've got to think, Louise, that, you know, what they're going to do, and it's a really great question to get us going on this, what they're going to do is they're going to look at their own. Like New South Wales has their academy, and they bring those guys through, and of course it's going to make it easy for them to stay, and they harness it, so they'll be harnessing Tassie talent. And the issue with Tasmanian football has been, and why Tassie hasn't really given the AFL a lot of confidence that they could last in the AFL, is because its own local competition was never really competitive.
Right.
The two issues there were all the good talent gets found, i.e. sitting right here,
Yeah.
plucked away to play for an AFL team, and then I establish a life here in Melbourne, and I don't go home, right? And I don't add to the Tasmanian football culture. Or if I find my way out of the game after 5 or 6 years, I've already established here, so I don't go back. That's been the main issue. The other issue has been money for coaches down there. So no real infrastructure around coaching, no finance around coaching. So who wants to do it if you're not getting paid to do the job? Over here in Melbourne, all around the rest of Australia, coaches are given enough so that they can, knowledge is not imparted down in Tasmania, but, you know, we don't have a lot of population, but we certainly have had the talent over the years come out of Tasmania. Can you name some Tasmanian players for Davo? Being in the West.
Greenwell?
Jack Rewell.
Brendan Gale?
Brendan Gale.
The forward.
Richardson.
Richo!
The Cho.
Tassie.
How could you not? Hey, shoot me some great Tasmanian
Wasn't
names.
bad.
Please, my lovely Melbourne Demon supporters here that are tuning in.
Bulldog?
The late great Darryl Baldock. You know, I met Darryl one evening at the Tasmanian Hall of Fame, of which I am a part of. He came up to me and he goes, because we all knew growing up that Darryl Baldock was God. The things he could do as a magician with the football. He was the god, the godfather of Tasmanian football. And he came up to me, he'd lost the powers of speech by then, but he came up with an autograph book, and it was kind of embarrassing because I was just besotted. He's doing this to me. And I thought, the great Darryl Baldock wants my autograph. I've made it. This is a defining moment in my life. And then I signed it. I sent it back, and I said, Darryl, I want I should be getting your autograph. And then I think it might have been his wife with him. He says, oh yeah, it's for our granddaughter. He doesn't want your autograph.
Yeah.
She.
Surely, like, you could have just for tonight. It really made me feel special. You just didn't finish the sentence.
I've just been inducted to the Tassie Fame. Got a ball autograph. No.
Yeah, life doesn't get any better. That's for my granddaughter. Well,
And then I start telling people.
great.
I start telling people I'm in the Tassie Hall of Fame. A lot of people go, that's great. Pretty easy to do that, isn't it? David Meeks was born in Ulverston, Tasmania. Did you know that?
Okay.
And do you know who else was a great captain from the Melbourne Football Club?
Yes.
Do you know the answer to this? Great captain for the Melbourne Football Club that was born in Devonport, but does not, and will not claim it and doesn't associate. Who was that person?
Brad.
Yeah, grab and burn, Gary. Stuart Spencer, Gary Lyon, Richard Newman, yes, Devonport, but he doesn't really talk about it that much. Yvonne, Stuart Spencer, I'm not sure he was born in Tassie, his wife. Here's a story for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Stuart Spencer was a 24-year-old retired triple premiership, two-time best and fairest in premiership years player, superstar. Leaves to go to Tasmania to play football. Now, I know it was a different day, different time, but his wife, Faye, was really homesick and she wanted to go home. Stuart had met Faye a few years before when they went down to do an exhibition game down in Tasmania. Met Faye, they connected, got married. She moved to Melbourne, wanted to move back, and he's just won a premiership. I think it was the 1957 premiership, I want to say. And he's gone to the club. Ron Brassey, mate, I'm out. I'm done. I'm going to Tassie. Faye wants to go home. Everyone was gobsmacked. He was this superstar little ruck rover. He might have been a rover. Ron Barassi was the ruck rover. And leaves, goes to Tassie, plays there for a long time. After that, famously captained the Tasmanian side to beat the Victorians back when State of Origin actually meant something.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Andy Lovell.
Yeah, Andy Chopper Lovell, absolutely from Tasmania. Brad Green, you're on fire. Anyway, we lose the premiership 58. So we've won 55, 56, 57. Stewie Spencer leaves. They lose in 58 to Collingwood on a rainy, stormy day, apparently, this day in 58. And I think it was Hooker Harrison and who else? Who was the other one? Wiedemann bashed the crap out of Ron Barassi and they lost.
Oh, wow.
An unlosable grand final, apparently. And then they go on to win 59 and 60. So they could have won 6 premierships in a row. And Ron Barassi told me, he said to my face, he said to my face, we would have won 4 premierships. We would have won in 58 if we'd had Stuart Spencer.
Oh,
just needed Stuart Spencer. There you go. Yeah, Chopper Lovell, he was. What about Andy Lamprell? What about the Phoebe brothers? The Phoebe twins. They were from Tasmania and from my way, Devonport. Devonport has produced a lot of great footballers.
Did any of them go back, or did they all come to the mainland and stay?
Most of them stay.
Yeah.
I know Andy Lamprell went home, but most of us get jobs within the system. So why would you go home?
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
there are no jobs in the system, really. Not a lot of jobs down there in the system, but there will be.
No. Well, James Sicily doesn't think there's much going on in Tassie at all, does he?
Special comments down in Tasmania.
Happy to. Look, I'm wearing green today, and yellow as well, just to honour my.
I'm green too.
Yeah.
Not because of Tassie, though.
No, you're a Boston Celtic man,
That's right.
and they're doing well. They'll probably win it. But hey, the
By
Lakers.
the way, did you see the Lakers?
The Lakers are killing it. Beat Golden State round 1, so that's interesting. Ooh, we're making some mess here. It was a great win against North Melbourne, mate. I want to talk about it before we invite our guest.
Yeah.
Because obviously we play the Gold Coast Suns this week. A couple of weeks where it's kind of like, we should win these games. And you could easily drop this one against the Gold Coast Suns up on the Gold Coast where it's nice and warm and it's nice and relaxed. We're going to hear all about...
Because it wasn't warm and relaxed on last Saturday night.
God,
It was
wasn't.
cold.
It was freezing.
I opted to stay home instead of go to the game
Week.
and watch both Melbourne and the Eagles at the same time, which was really, really smart of me. So I thought, you know...
What are we going to do with the Eagles, mate?
No, it's not the time or the place.
It's a rebuild. It's not a West Coast Eagles show.
Nope, let's focus on Melbourne.
Well, let's do just that because some of the better players on the night tomorrow. I think Bailey Fritsch really set us up, guys. Let us know what you think. And we haven't got a whole heap on just yet, but let us know who your favourite players were from last week. Bailey Fritsch set us up, I thought. He kicked 4 goals for the night. He's got the longest running streak in the AFL at the moment for goals kicked every game, in a row, sorry. He and... I like the forward line at the moment. Yeah, Chandler's really good at the moment. He really is on fire. And I think if you look at the stats, he's one of the best small forwards in the competition. And you wouldn't know it, would you? Because a lot of people struggle to remember his name. But his pressure acts and his score assists and then actually finish on goal. Getting a lot of licks of the ice cream too at the moment. I think the ball's been coming in pretty good over the last couple of weeks. And it will continue to be that way. So he's going to grab his chance and be a mainstay of the Melbourne forward line, along with Van Rooyen. Again, a couple of good jumps at the footy. Petrarca obviously was unbelievable.
We had by 7 goals at quarter time, 7 or 8.
First quarter, 50-odd points in the first quarter. That doesn't happen often. You sort of think, oh, well, 200 points, here we go. But I felt like we sort of started to muck around with the ball in the end. Sort of like, oh, well, this is done. It's kind of like junk time goals. But I tell you who was disappointed in the last quarter. Stephen May was not happy with the rest of it. Because you don't want to bleed goals at the end.
Right at the end.
Obviously, you're trying to set a standard down the back line and
they
send a
really
message.
wanted that 100-point margin. You could see it.
And they didn't want goals kicked on them either. Yeah. You know, the ball's picking into the end. Yeah. And that could easily stop. But look, you know, the game's won, and that's all that really matters in the end. Petrarca again, 3 goals won with 35 disposals. I mean, is that a 3-vote game in any other situation?
Do you think it's hard to get a sense of where Melbourne's at now?
Yeah, it is a little. Only because we lost those games against Essendon.
You thought
Brisbane.
Sydney was good, but then they don't seem to be good.
Yeah.
North Melbourne are definitely not.
It's
the Eagles in Perth isn't good.
No. It's that old saying, you get a scalp, get a couple of scalps.
I lost to Essendon, was bad.
Just nail into the wall, and you know that you're a good team. Yeah. And it just sends a message to the rest of the competition. You know,
they're second on the ladder, aren't they?
Wow.
So they can't be going too bad.
Again, it's only early in the season. We haven't played everybody yet. But a 139-49 drubbing of North Melbourne, and then do it again next week. The good teams hurt the poorer teams.
Is anyone worried about the Gold Coast game?
Richard Newman says Grundy is starting to get going, and I agree with that. He's been really good. I think last week, not the North Melbourne game, the week before, he was even better.
Yeah.
So we haven't really seen him go full steam yet, but we will. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I think things are going in the right direction. They just need to keep plugging away. Just need to keep pushing, towards...
The next big test, you've got Gold Coast...
We've got Hawthorn after that. We traditionally don't play well against Hawthorn, but they're a different team at the moment. Then we move on to, let's have a look here. Round 10 is Port Adelaide in Adelaide. That's the one, because Port Adelaide are flexing. Who they got? The Saints this week? Port. If Port beat the Saints over there, and guess who's back for the Saints? Max King. That's scary. They've been playing it without one of their great forwards. So has the Gold Coast Suns, with the brother of Max not being there. They are superstar forwards. I'm scared of St Kilda. Who are you scared of?
Isn't that weird? At the start of the year, you wouldn't have said that. You would have been like, no, they're not going to go that well.
No, they're back.
They are playing really well.
They're back.
Collingwood is my concern.
They find a way to win, don't they?
They keep winning. What was that stat I saw the other day? Like 16 games under a margin of 15 points or 16 points or something stupid, and they've won 14 of them.
Yeah. So
they seem to just get going. And the Cats are starting to come good too.
The Cats are back to their form. It was like they were trying to find their feet without Joel Seld. Louise is scared of the Pies, but they found their feet without him. And tell you who's playing some amazing football in Geelong is the big Tomahawk.
Yeah.
He's Benjamin.
June 12th, Collingwood, Melbourne. Here's Benjamin Button. He just keeps going, doesn't he?
Still looks baby-faced.
Yeah.
Still rolling around, uses his weight. Yeah, King's birthday.
King's birthday, June 12, Monday.
Can't wait for that. Can't wait for King's birthday. Can't wait to see Neil Danaher roll out another freeze at the G. That's going to be huge. We're starting to build towards that behind the scenes. The beanies will be out soon. Crikey, we need beanies at the moment.
I was going to say, I'm cold now.
Today was cold.
Yeah.
I woke up cold. I'm like,
And it was cold all day.
I know one of the guys said, you guys look relaxed on the couch. I'm definitely looking relaxed.
oh, he's got his mockies on.
West Australian in me. Can't quite get around shoes and socks.
He's got a t-shirt on with mockies. Hello, Ruth. How are you? Good to hear from you. Geez, we always get the same people. I love that. Love to hear from you all. Mav Weller played football in Burnie. He's a famous name around Burnie, the Wellers. Played with his dad at Burnie before I got drafted to Melbourne.
I want to go
Back just a little bit to talk about
about that question. Would I have played for Melbourne had Tasmania had a team? Let's just say Tasmania
came in 2 years after Melbourne drafted me. If Tassie asked me to go back and play, the answer would be so easy. No way. Melbourne, because I was such a passionate, I hate to say this, Carlton supporter. Only because my dad was and my pop was before that, so it's all I knew really. When Melbourne drafted me, everything else faded away, and you just, wow, Melbourne Football Club is the most amazing club in the world. This love that they've given me, and you truly do want to be a one-club player. It's a different, probably ideal now because the dollars are coming to it. There wasn't a lot of money when I first started. My first contract was for $20,000, and I had to live in a whole new state and live off that. Buy a car, pay rent, different time. We're talking about 25 years ago now, so, you know, it was cheaper living, but audio is patchy. Oh, no.
How's yeah, is it still patchy? It should be alright. The levels are going up and down nicely, I thought. How's Matty Naduzo? Consistent time. Are we consistent? I thought we've been doing it at 7, or are we lost the plot?
7 o'clock the last 3 weeks, Matty.
Yeah.
We did start with 6, and we thought 7 was better without the football on. 6 was too early for dinners.
Yeah.
And remember, this goes out to podcasts too, all week long.
It does.
You know?
So the audio, I don't know, guys. Like this, it's the web streaming software because it seems to be working. If it happens again, let me know. Maybe it's just him crapping on about Tasmania. It could be.
Do you know what it is? It's this microphone.
And as soon as you said Carlton, I reckon that's when it kind of just went.
No, do you know what it is? Look at the massive goitee I have. You know what you call those things?
Yeah, it's because you need to put this.
And when I talk, it goes up and down. Do you know that's a sign of masculinity?
You're not sitting on your thing, are you?
Probably.
Oh, you got it in your pocket. Pull it out of your pocket.
Don't touch me.
Is it still working all right?
Oh.
God, we're filling in stuff. Is he on yet, Mav? Or we got him? Are you going to get him on?
Yeah, no, there he is. You can on the side. He's there.
Yeah.
Hey, Mav. Well, you're going to go over there and bring him on because, or are you going to? What are you going to do? You're the tech man. I have no idea.
I'll go get him on. Are you ready to do it?
What do you reckon? Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Sounds weird. Yeah, that's him. I'm telling you.
It was this.
Yeah, it's the giant Adam's apple.
Got a massive Adam's apple. Do you know my Adam's apple? I can move it from side to side. Watch this. I can move it.
Robbo is scratchy. Maybe it's me that's scratchy.
Because I got elbowed in my neck at a training drill, handball training drill by Brock McLean. And I had to go in and have
Feels like 10 o'clock.
camera down my throat to see what was going on because he broke my voice box. He broke it. I broke it when I was 13, but he officially broke it.
Wow. It's like Dom Shee's got a broken voice box. It hurts, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, anyway.
It's hard to imagine you've been quiet for a period of time, though.
You're quiet. You're a quiet person until he has a drink and he's loud. You have the loudest voice, but you know who sounds like an idiot when he's drunk? Just go back and watch the intro.
Yeah.
Gotta go with that intro.
Coming home! It's coming home!
please get rid of that. I
I
don't want
tried
that
so
anymore.
hard to get the high-res version of that. I don't know what happened. There was obviously the guy that was doing the video that night maybe had too many gins and was celebrating, i.e. me. And then I had to like try and negotiate with this software company to get the high-res version, and I could only get low-res. But it's enough. We remember.
Yeah, we remember. We'll never forget. All right, Maverick Weller played in Burnie. And I played with his old man. Old man was a terrific player, terrific bloke, successful businessman in the area. He gets drafted to the Gold Coast Suns, goes on for a career at the Saints and finishes up at Richmond, a real hard nut player. Can't wait to talk to him about what it was like up on the Gold Coast Suns. He's sitting in the waiting room right there.
I'm going to have to do some magic trickery to make this work.
Do some magic.
And then it will come on, but we will be ready to roll in 2 seconds. Let's do this.
Hours drive from the northwest coast to go and watch a game in Hobart. How's the buzz around our area and then, of course, the wider state?
Yeah, look, I don't think anyone up here were thinking the AFL team was going to be based in Penguin.
No.
You know, it is a bit of a trick, but for Tasmanians, they do that all the time. To go and watch a footy, I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But I think it's starting to galvanise the state in terms of that north-south rivalry. The people I talk to are obviously members of other football clubs, but they're ready to jump ship or jump on and support an extra team. And to see it succeed.
Absolutely. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the Suns in a minute and your career, but it is obviously such a massive deal for Tasmania. The last question I want to ask about it is the local teams. I think this is probably what's held Tasmania back in the past, is that we had the statewide league and then it changed to sort of regional, then back to statewide. And the argument was, well, if they can't handle a statewide league, how are they going to handle an AFL club? So do you think it'll have given that you're at the coalface, do you think it'll have a flow-on effect to the statewide league? Will it help it or will it take away from?
I think it'll definitely help me. Because you got to understand the AFL team is also going to have a VFL team underneath it supporting the program. So, you know, we've got some really high quality players in the state that could play VFL footy, but obviously choose not to move away. It's getting a ridiculous amount of quality young footballers that move away from Tassie to play at a high level. You know, I think every sample team has a Tasmanian in it. Some have half a dozen.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's an opportunity to get those kids back in and get involved in Tassie footy again.
Well, I think it's an interesting point. It's a good point because, yes, Tasmanian players, good players, what will happen is you'll get drafted like yourself. You went up to the Gold Coast, your brother's up there, and then, you know, we come to Melbourne and then we tend to stay, so we don't go back. So maybe this gives opportunity for homegrown talent to stay in the state and then go naturally back to their local clubs after it and only boost those clubs. And I didn't think of the VFL, which is a fantastic development for the young kids too, to go, well, I could make the VFL team and then I could naturally step into an AFL team. It's an easier pathway. And the talent that's come out of Tasmania, you'd only think that a lot of it's been missed in the past just purely through just giving up because there's no pathway.
Yeah, exactly. And to backtrack a little bit, Robert, there does need to be some restructure on the leagues around Tassie. There seems to be probably too many teams, and then there's too many dominant teams. So we need to work out a model, whether that's a regional, you know, north, northwest, south. I'm a fan of the relegation structure.
Yeah.
You know, to ensure that teams aren't getting flogged every week, and you know, to just bring all the infrastructure together.
Yeah.
And have some quality footy still.
Yeah. You talk about infrastructure. Dave, you got a photo there of the proposed new stadium, and it may not have the roof on it from the start. That's what they're saying, but it might. But they're spending a lot of money on this. Look at that as a showpiece. just at the doorstep of Hobart Town, which is a beautiful town. I love one of the best years of my life spending. I lived in Hobart for a year playing for the Tassie Mariners. That is epic, I think. I can't wait to see that down in old Hobart Town.
Oh, it's a great spot. You know, it's a stone's throw from Hobart. It'll generate so much tourism in the town.
Yeah.
And I think people would say, you know, like a Western Bulldogs supporter say wanted to come down and watch their team down at Tassie. They're not just going to fly into Hobart and watch the team and probably fly away. I think Tassie's got that feel that you might go up the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
You might spend a week. So I think it's a huge asset for the state, and it's exciting. It's not too far away. And I think the rumour is that it's 2027.
Yeah.
And you know, VFL in 2025. So in terms of our talent program, it's going to start to take shape pretty soon.
Yeah. Look, mate, we spent a lot of time on this, so I know because you and I are both proud Tasmanians. It's a big thing. It's a big deal. A Tasmanian team in a national competition. It doesn't happen, and if it does happen, it doesn't last very long. And this is the real deal this time. And you're right, people. I was at a cafe not long ago here in Melbourne, and someone came up to me, and they're an old retired couple. Kids have left home. They're going to follow their team down to Tasmania, and they're going to check out Salamanca. They're going to go up there, the East Coast. Then you've got like one of the best things to do in Tasmania is some of the walks down there, or even track ride, BMX riding, and mountain bike riding.
Yeah.
If you're into that stuff, Tasmania is one of the best places in the world to go. So you might go down there. The gather around in Adelaide, Davo, was huge. It was phenomenal, the amount of people that went over that. It shows that people will travel and they'll stay and they'll go and check out and they go, well, you know what, Tassie's not that bad. Because I always say there's two kinds of people. There's Tasmanians, there's people that love Tasmania, there's people that never been before, and they just shit can Tassie. So that's all about the change. Hey, mate, now that's enough about Tassie. Let's talk about you. Mate, AFL career, I know your family. I played with your old man when I was coming through at the Burnie Dockers back in the day. Terrific, big, tall fella. You're not tall like that. You didn't get the size, but you certainly got the strength, mate. You're a hard under player.
Yeah, I'm missing a couple of inches off Dad. My other brothers are taller than me as well. But we've got some roots on the northwest coast with our footy.
Yes, absolutely. The Wellers are very well known in our area, have been for a long, long time, businessmen and also very talented footballers, and it shows through with this next generation. You and your brother, you went first, 3 clubs. The Gold Coast Suns, mate, obviously we're playing them in a couple of days. It's a different proposition, that club, isn't it? So you're one of those that went there and got an opportunity at another club, St Kilda, and then on to Richmond. But what's it like playing for the Gold Coast Sun in a town that isn't necessarily all about football? So I think we all speculate, but only those that have played and have been there know. So give us the insights, mate.
Yeah, I think early on, I think it's a lot different what it used to be. Early on, it didn't have much sort of hype about it. We're rocking up to games with 8 to 12,000 people, and they'd just be there for the right sort of thing. But I think now, and the draw card is that's what players sort of want. They want a cruisier lifestyle. The lifestyle of the Gold Coast is amazing.
Yeah.
The guys live down around Burleigh Heads, and where they're not training, they're sleeping on the beach and surfing and all that sort of stuff. But,
awesome.
It's a great town. It was a really good experience for me to go down to Melbourne and experience that bubble a bit.
Yeah.
And finish up at Richmond. But like I went from playing 10 in front of 10,000 people with Meshcon to round 1 was 95 against Carlton. Round 2 was like 93 against Collingwood.
Unreal.
And they were the last 2, so I was happy to finish those.
Yeah, that's finishing on a high, absolutely. I mean, you're lucky. You're lucky you go to a club that's right in the wheelhouse for premiership success. You're lucky if you go to a club like Richmond, Collingwood or Essendon, Carlton even, that have big crowds. You know, you make your own luck, I know, but sometimes you're just born lucky. Those Collingwood players on the Queen's birthday, now King's birthday games, I don't know. I loved it again in Queen's birthday, but they've just always got that massive crowd. Yeah. It's just a different kettle of fish. You look like you fit right in on the Gold Coast with that haircut.
I just can't surf, mate.
It's like playing golf. You wear all the gear, but you can't really play. Now, mate, let's talk about the game real quick before we move on to your life now. No, actually, before we go on to that, Dave, I want to talk about this because one of the players that everybody loves at Mel Football Club is Todd. Well, when in my era it was Todd Viney, right? Everyone loved Todd, you know, sexy boy from Adelaide. And then now on to his son, Jack. When Jack was a little kid, that's when I first got to the club. He was just a little shit, right? He was one of the worst kids you've ever met. He would run around these after-match functions that we used to do, and he used to headbutt everyone in the groin. That's how crazy he was. They could not control him, so much energy. And the way Todd parents him, sometimes questionable. I won't go into it. He might get the family services around, but it is no surprise to me to see him play the way he plays now, and the way you both played very similar football, hard nuts. But we want to see this tackle. You know what I'm talking about because you've felt it. Yeah. Let's show everybody at home.
Don't live this down.
You'll never live this down because it is one of the greatest tackles of all time. I'm not sure. Can I hear you as I'm talking? This is just one of those things. Bang on the point of the shoulder. The worst part of that tackle, as we watch it in slow-mo, is the fact that he got your wrist and slammed you onto the point of your shoulder.
And I sort of jumped turn direction, and I didn't have the best footy. But he just, it was a ferocious tackle. It's a funny backstory, actually, Russ, because I don't know if you know, but Todd was my old man's best man.
Right. Right. I didn't know that.
No. So, I grew up with the Viney's.
Yeah.
And they, Todd and Meg were still really close to mum and dad.
Yeah.
So, it was a bit ironic. The other thing out of that story is I fell on my shoulder. But why I stayed down is I just felt this crack in between my neck.
Right.
And I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
It's a bit sore, but everything started moving. Anyway, I got it off. After that, I come off. I had the wind sucked out of me.
Yeah.
And I checked my jumper and I'd broken the GPS.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That makes the story even better.
I thought you broke his neck.
I thought you were going to say you broke your neck.
No, I broke the GPS. Like just cracked the.
Those things are solid little units. So you've just.
Oh yeah, well that's 2014. I think they're a bit smaller now.
Yeah.
But it's got increase.
Why are my stats down? Well,
because you broke
my GPS.
You didn't run very far in the game. I know.
No, but the kids I coach still. I'll give them 2 or 3 days, and then it'll come up at some point.
Oh, mate, it's one of those things. I mean, we live for as much as we want the game to be fast, as much as we want, it to be fair or whatever. We still live for the hard nut footy stuff, and obviously Jack does that, and he's an expert at it. You did that, and to see that tackle, and for you to get up after, lesser men would not get up from that tackle. So well done to you. Dad would have been proud.
Yeah, I'm not living it down. What is it?
It's only
10 years.
10 years later.
YouTube.
Yeah. So talk us through this weekend, mate. The team.
Yeah.
Obviously, you keep an eye on those midfielders at Melbourne and how they're going to stack up against the midfielders and your brother at the Gold Coast Suns. What have you got for us?
Yeah, look, pretty disappointing start for the Gold Coast this year. I think they've had some games that they should have won. From what I'm hearing, it's a similar story. So when the momentum's up, or the game's up for grabs, they still get a lot of their inexperienced players that go with their shells.
Mm-hmm.
In saying that, it was interesting to watch last week the Tigers v the Suns, and I caught myself going Tigers, going Suns, back to Tigers.
Yeah.
And obviously the Suns got over it, but they also played Ben King and Charlie Ballard back in form. They really haven't had an impact this year. So those two players are real key to what they want to do. Obviously, the two posts one weekend. Injuries to two. Lockie's probably going to miss a bit.
Yeah.
Bailey Humphrey's interesting. I like the way he goes about. I think he's going to be a little player. I think he's a bit quiet last week.
Yeah.
I think the last couple of weeks they've been a lot better. They started to get their role players back in. So Brandon Ellis, McPherson, Powell, Fiorini, those sorts of guys that are sort of the glue, in amongst all that, and consistently run to the right spots on defense, pressure, and in those big moments where the game's ready to be taken, they step up.
Absolutely.
In saying that, the Dees of line as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, and you'd look at that midfield group and say, well, that's going to be a challenge to stop Oliver, who obviously knows a contested ball beast. And then Petrarca, who rolls around and gets 36, 37 every single week and usually, finishes it off with a lot of goals. And I think I saw a stat today that he's right up there in competition in terms of forward half stats. So he gets a lot of his ball moving forward, which makes him a little bit more dangerous, and you're more mindful to sort of stick with him as he goes forward. So there seems to be a good balance in that Melbourne midfield at the moment, isn't there?
Oh, for sure. They've just got options. Jackson there obviously gives him a bit of grunt. Brayshaw.
Yeah.
That's just reliable. Yeah. But they've had 3 years of playing that consistent system now, and they've added some other key players. Brody Grundy.
Yeah.
Cosy Pickett's. That could be anything this week. Is he going to be out spending his money? Spend his money, or?
Yeah. He's got to sign a massive contract. We're all very happy about that, mind you.
Yeah, but I think the Melbourne going to be too strong.
I would have thought so, yeah, absolutely. But it's a midfield to die for. But it's that forward line of the Gold Coast that could, if you've got a king in there, I love those two Kingy boys. Obviously, Saints and Gold Coast fame. That they could be anything, those two. And you can imagine, with delivery like a Melbourne midfield would give someone like that. I mean, it's no secret to Melbourne that we feel like we've got this great midfield. We've got this amazing back line in Lever and May, and then all the other guys, the subsidiaries in that. But then the forward line, we're still trying to find our feet with that Bailey Fritsch. We know he'll kick goals. And then we've got the young fella, Van Rooyen, that comes in. Is there a backman that plays in the forward line? Tommy McDonald, Benny Brown. If you had someone that was just like a Tom Lynch and then one of the King boys or a Jeremy Cameron, you'd think like Melbourne would almost be unstoppable, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. I think they haven't given the Gawn experiment forward too much.
That's a good point.
Because he got injured this year. I think that's a real strength of Melbourne. So obviously 2 All-Australian ruckmen.
Yeah.
That they can go over there. But you're right. So they set up a lot of their attack from down back with May and then extend Martin.
Yeah.
Lockie Hunter's slotted in there really well too.
Yes.
It's just reliable, holds the width, it's clean. He had Langdon on the other wing as well.
That's absolutely right. And it's a good point. I don't think we talk enough about Hunter and Langdon about the way they're able to connect up and be that exit kick, which was a problem last year for Melbourne. The exit kick out of the back line, I think we were relying on Ed a lot, and his year before was such a sensational year. It wasn't quite able to capture the same form, probably got a little bit more attention, but then we're relying on those high half forwards as those exits. It's a really important position to wing. It's a really tough position as well to be able to get that timing right. And and be able to cover the kilometres. And a lot of the time it's unrewarded running out there. Not that I know because I've never played on the wing, but just as a spectator sport now, you would have played a couple of times on the wing.
Yeah, I understand now the system of the forwards and the wings having to empty out of the forward line, staying connected to the defence while holding your width.
Yeah.
And keeping your shape. So, yeah, a lot of the times that high half forward and the wingers, they do a lot of underwater running up and back. But they're doing it really well.
You're into a different sort of, I mean, I know you've got your fingers in a lot of different pies, but the one pie I'd like to talk about is a business you've been in for a while now, and it's all around medicinal marijuana. Talk to us about how that all works.
We call it cannabis. Right?
Cannabis, sorry.
So, yeah, the last 3 years I've been working or building a indoor medicinal cannabis facility. So we have one farm. So at the moment, I'm talking to you guys and seeing my shed here down in Tassie. And we have one up in Brisbane as well. Yeah. So we just focus on the cultivation.
Yep.
And then we sort of dry it out, bag it up, and distribute it to manufacturers.
So would there be a lot of, you'd have to get a lot of sort of leniency from authority. You'd have to get all the certificates. Is there a lot of hoops to jump through to make sure you're doing everything right?
Yeah, I don't think leniency is the right word. There's definitely a lot of hoops to jump through. A lot of compliance.
Yeah, compliance.
And a lot of security and that sort of thing.
Oh.
The beauty of what we're doing is, as it looks at, it's just a shed, but indoor, it's very secure and clean and all that sort of thing.
You'd want to make it secure. I know what it was like growing up in Tasmania, what my mates used to get into back in the day. You'd have to have a security guard, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's interesting to say that. I've had 20 people come out of the woods offering to be my head grower. I said, well, what do you know about them? Only about 30 years.
I spoke it. That's awesome.
But there's lots of good things happening in the space. It's growing considerably each year, but at the end, it's really helping people get some normality back in their life.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. No, you've always been into interesting and different things. A big family, the Wellers. Chopper is down on the northwest coast. Everyone knows him. Big Tasmanian family. We are so appreciative of your time today, Mav. We'll let you go, brother. Thanks for joining us, mate, and I hope to see you back in the old town soon.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, mate.
We were having what?
A discussion about water. I don't drink enough water. Do you?
I don't. I said I had a whiskey and it went straight through me, and I was like, "Oh, that's not good." That
was great, Maverick.
He's a legend, the guy. Good tackle.
Oh, what about that?
Yeah.
I was there for that.
Yeah.
You could actually hear the crunching sort of sound, not the meaty sound or anything like that, but you just could feel it as he went down. It was like, it was as good as a hanger or a good goal, I reckon. The crowd went mental. It was at Marvel Stadium. And he went down like a sack of spuds, poor Mav, because if you get tackled by Jack Viney, I reckon you stay tackled. And the comments, you would get weeks if you did that today, because he was hurt. It's ridiculous. Surely that wouldn't get weeks, guys. Surely that's just the best tackle you've ever seen, and you have to. All he did was tackle him. Yeah. But he got hurt.
You know what my highlight of what he was talking about, though? And I was going to say it, but I wasn't sure if I should say it or not. When he was talking about the medicinal marijuana or cannabis or whatever what do we
I call it marijuana.
I read an article and the dogs are getting stoned in New York.
What?
There was an article the other
day. They're smoking.
So I lived in Boston for a little while, right? And they legalised marijuana, and so they have like these trucks everywhere, and you can get it delivered to your house. Like,
Hang
it's
on,
fully
why?
legal.
They've legalised it.
Fully
Why?
legal. Like, if you're in New York now, there are vans, and you just go up to the vans and you can buy marijuana. And you can get it
God.
delivered to your house like you can alcohol.
Like Uber Eats.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Look, well, you probably wouldn't need Uber Eats.
Oh, yes, you would do it.
It's marijuana.
It's really helping stock in Uber Eats.
But like, I know we're going off topic slightly, but I wanted to mention it, but I wasn't sure. Oh, geez, I
This
don't
is
know.
great. I want to know more about it. Tell me.
Yeah, so look at this, right? Guys, humour me for a sec. Uber weed. Exactly.
Uber
Gary.
Eats. I love
So,
it.
what's this, right? Oh, it's not going to let me do it from here. I've got to go.
Well, there's got to be a funny name, doesn't there, for
Here we go.
Ubering your own marijuana in.
Does this work?
Hi,
Oh,
Susie.
no, I got to pull it. I got to pull it into the screen. Hang on, guys. I'm going to do
Susie
this.
Costco
Here we go.
has joined us.
Where is it? There it is.
Oh, so you got you got an article.
So there is an article, right? You guys can still hear us.
Dogs are getting stoned.
Dogs in the US. Vet tries to stop New York City's dogs getting stoned. Here's the article. Ready? Bondi. Which is the name of a dog.
I know you're going to say, is it?
New York.
Bondi's the name of the dog.
Bondi.
In New York.
Bondi, an 8-month-old toy poodle, has just returned from a walk when he began stumbling. His head wobbled, and soon he could barely stand. So his owner, Colleen Briggs, rushed him to the vet. The good doctor quickly made a diagnosis. Bondi was stoned.
Oh my God! What did you just? When you let him off leash Central Park, he's just run
really let him off the leash.
run behind the rocks. Quick! Pass that shit on.
Yeah. So, like, there's a pandemic. It's a problem.
Oh my
And,
God! I think the real story is there's a dog in New York called Bondi. I love this.
It reeks of
Marijuana.
Oh, the audio was good in the interview, but now it's scratchy. Is it your voice again?
Is it mine or his?
Is it mine? Oh, it could be mine. It can't be mine.
How does the dog roll his joint?
I could fix the audio. How does the dog roll his joint? Let me know. Let us know on the audio. I can whip out a microphone very, very quickly, which is really frustrating. Is it his? Like, let's do a test. I think Melbourne will beat Gold Coast this weekend by 29 points.
I think West Coast will lose by 127 points. They're saying it's Robbo's.
It's
You've
you.
given me the dud microphone.
I haven't given you
Like,
the
this is
microphone.
called Russell Robertson Live, Robbo Live, and you've saved the best microphone
Okay,
for you.
leave it there.
Oh, I was going to hold it. Is that better? I'm very loud and distorted. Thanks,
It is loud
Mally.
and distorted. All right, I'm going to fix this once and for all.
All right, well, I'll talk a bit quieter, guys. This is live stuff. We don't...
Yeah, we're not doing anything. Like, we're trying to be relaxed.
You're so relaxed that we can see your jocks hanging out the back of your trousers.
There we go, guys. That one's not going to make the edit.
Is that better?
Is that better? I turned him down.
Turn me down. All right, I'm turned down. That was sensational. Anyway, it was a great insight into what's
All
going
right, shall we
on.
restart the show?
Yeah, let's just start again. Cause,
Amateurs,
yeah,
we
exactly.
so are amateurs.
It's this mic. We're going to fix this during the week. Anyway, we'll get through. We'll forge on.
You were saying,
That's better.
can you guys believe it's round 8?
I can't believe it's round 8. Life is flying by, and I feel like a candle in the wind. Life is flying by. It's fleeting. Oh, now I'll push something.
Oh.
So we might as well just drink and smoke marijuana in New York.
And call our dogs Bondi.
It was because it was too loud, you idiot.
Yeah, no, it's because when I do the Zoom call, I know what the problem is. When I do the Zoom call, we take the mic from here and not the lapel. And so it makes it easier for me. And so, yeah, apologies. But can I explain why? What time did you turn up tonight?
A couple of minutes to go before the show.
A couple of minutes?
You had a meeting.
Was it 5:50? Was it 6:59 or was it like 6:58? Because it was like.
As Pam says, let's get back to the footy.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, did you see Jakey Melksham's goal? Did you guys see Jakey Melksham's goal? Oh my God! Let's pull it up, Dave. Just go to the Melbourne website. It'll be on there. It's done the rounds. It's probably one of the best goals you've ever seen because it's different. All right, this is a real soccer style
Jimmy Steins would love this because I remember seeing Jimmy Steins doing dinky little passes like this back in the day because it harps back to that Irish game, Gaelic football. It was phenomenal. Just wow, exactly. Pam, sensational goal, and I think if it was in the AFL, it would be because there was a couple of handy goals. Who was the Brisbane player that did a
the
goal?
karate thing in the air. But did you see the Fremantle
Yes.
spin around and then he snapped it too?
But we don't talk about Fremantle.
Is that round 6? Jake Melksham, VFL 3 days ago. Yeah, this is it.
That's the one. Put this up. Check
All right,
this out.
one sec.
You've seen it, no doubt, everybody. But this is... I love Jakey Melksham for this goal. Oh, you've got it.
How are we looking? I got it. Let's put it on.
For time, I can't talk about it anymore. Here it is.
Here we go.
Up to Gray. Demons can make one last run at this. Ben Brown's on a
Is it
long
working?
lead.
Oh, it's
Chips
a
it
bit
back
jumpy.
inside 50.
It is
Running
jumpy,
hard.
isn't
Melksham not
Oh,
quite there.
Does it?
Manages to get it to bounce up
Wow,
to himself.
what a goal.
And Jake
What
Melksham kicks
is
one of the
going
best
on with
goals
that?
you will
It's
ever
lovely
see.
on your
That is
computer.
goal of the year.
Maybe it
Brendan,
works for
mark
them.
it down right now. I don't know how to describe that. That's some sort of Gaelic
I don't know. He must have been good.
style
Jumpy guys.
possession
So-
retaining
We'll post it later.
kick to
we'll post it
himself,
later.
and then
It
the
was an
conversion.
amazing goal. Anyway, enough said. Gary's off to Dublin later this year to go to see Brian Stein's pub and Jim's Memorial. Yeah, send us some photos of Jim's Memorial when you're there, Gary, because a lot of people will post that. They'll take over a Melbourne scarf or a Melbourne beanie and chuck it on the memorial over there. On the basis of that goal, Ryan, will Melksham get a game this week? Probably not. We do. The issue here is we do need.
That's how you would pick teams. Would be based on hangers
absolutely.
and goals.
Oh, great goal, you're in. Robbo, you didn't get a kick all last week, but
Yeah,
what about the hanger?
see the hanger,
in quarter?
yeah.
You're in.
Hey, we're here for entertainment.
That's right, it's a numbers game, mate.
Yeah.
We get bums on seats.
Yeah.
Cozzy Pickett signed a contract, an extension to stay at the Melbourne Football Club, which is a massive signing, and we should have spoken about it off the top of the show. Some people have made comments. Yes, huge moment because he is the future of the Melbourne Football Club. We need players to stay. We lost Jackson to Fremantle, which was a big loss. Let's be honest. He's a fantastic player, and you can only imagine if he was in the side at the moment in the forward line, he'd be doing okay. But Cozzy stays on as that real damaging small forward. We've been lacking, I think, that sort of that small forward in our forward line for a lot of years, and he's really filled the void. So, well done to the Melbourne Football Club for signing Cozzy. They've obviously thrown because the go home factor. They've obviously thrown a lot at him, and that's great.
Yeah, it's good to get it done now. It doesn't linger on, and they can get on with the rest of the year. And
yeah.
away you go.
There's been some great comments. I've forgotten them all because they just fly past.
I know, like life and the
Like
and the
life.
rounds that are disappearing.
Like sands through the hourglass.
Like it's round 8, and soon we'll be in the finals, and then we'll be another year older. This just keeps happening every year.
Hawthorn next week. Who do we get on, ladies and gentlemen? Who would you like to hear from? Because I hit up my old mates, past players, of course, or current day players. Who would you like to hear from? I'll get them on, and we'll talk about Hawthorn versus Melbourne. Should be another dub for us, but they get tougher because there's some teams really getting it done at the moment. As we spearhead towards King's birthday, take on Collingwood. Anything else?
Can anyone give me a tip for Friday night? I've got a
The,
Carlton-Brisbane game. I'm a bit...
is that our tipping thing?
Yeah, that's our tipping comp that we're in. I think Brisbane,
Here.
because Carlton had a bye last week, so they're getting used to the 19 teams. So they had the bye last week against the Eagles,
Yeah.
so they'll be fresh.
Yeah.
But I think Brisbane.
I think Brisbane. Dipper Von would be hard yakka.
Shane Crawford would be fun.
I've done a lot of stuff with Dipper and you don't get a word in. So Shane Crawford would be amazing. What about Trent Crode or?
Brisbane, thank you, Richard.
Yeah, I think Brisbane will win that one.
West Coast Richmond.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along.
Moving along.
Geelong Adelaide.
Ooh, that's a good game.
It's in.
But it's down there.
It's at Kidinia Park. So, well, That's Geelong, probably.
Dees,
Done that.
GWS
GWS Bulldogs.
Good game. Bulldogs win that. They're on form. Got some form at the moment. I like
Yep.
them. Not to say GWS don't. After that epic comeback win, how good is Toby Green? He's unbelievable. I'd love to have him
Big
in
game
the
player.
Melbourne Football Club forward line. He would be amazing to have.
No one likes him.
No.
Everyone would want him.
Exactly. You got to have those guys.
He's tough and he's competitive and he's talented and he's.
No one like me. So, you know.
What?
They didn't.
No one likes
Every
you.
opposition supporter comes up to me in the streets now. This happens daily, people.
Oh, we love you.
Robbo, used to hate your guts back in the day. I'm a Richmond supporter, but geez, I love watching you play footy though. It's like, well, hang on.
Wait.
What did you hate about me then?
Yeah.
So is it because I took a mark, but then I carried on like a pork chop after it? Is that why you hate me? Or is it something else? Am I just a hateable person?
I don't think so.
Thank you, Dave.
I don't think so. Fremantle Hawthorn.
I'm going to go for Freo. Oh, geez, Freo.
You're going to go for Hawks?
No, Freo. I don't know what I was thinking there. Freo.
Yeah. Well, Freo has to win that.
Absolutely, they have to.
As much as I don't want them to. Port Essendon.
It's a good game. It's going to be Port over there. Essendon, after losing a little bit timid, probably don't know where they're at. They've got a full stack team, so...
Essendon only just lost to Collingwood, knocks Melbourne over. You don't think they're more of a chance in...
Adelaide.
Why not?
Just because I know everything. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I just think Port.
Port at home, Louise reckons.
Yeah.
Family reasons I can't hate Collingwood. That's all the more reason to hate them, actually, I think, for family.
Geelong are annoying, though. She's right.
They are annoying. They're annoyingly good. They never disappear. Just when I thought this year was it, and they're done. They're back. Collingwood, Sydney.
Battle of the Birds. Collingwood will win that one. Sydney, geez. They need to perform better in games. They're getting trounced in games. And
Very unlike Sydney.
Yeah, exactly. They usually win those close ones too. To lose in the Battle of the Bridge, that was a great game to watch. Actually, if you were watching it, you would have enjoyed it. But I don't like Sydney this year.
North St Kilda.
Yes, St Kilda will win that. Max King is back. I like his football. I like St Kilda's football at the moment.
Just try harder and you'll hate Collingwood. That's good.
It's not hard. That's been the show. That'll do. We'll get off. We'll fix our mic issues next week.
Yeah, we'll really work. We'll double down on this. I feel like we're letting the team down.
I'll get here earlier.
Maybe that would be a good start.
If I got here earlier.
Yeah. Like 1 minute before the show. Come on, man. Like,
that's how I live.
It is my fault about the mic level, though, and I appreciate you guys giving a shout out and working through it. So.
Well, I can't wait for this week's game. It's going to be good. You'll probably all be watching it from the safety of your home or at the pub. The Demons should get the dub up.
Should we do a pub thing? Like for an away game? Do you guys want to get out one day and go to a pub?
Let's do a live show. You know what? These guys need to let us know where it would be good to do a live show from. And then you need to go to that place and get them to...
Let us do it.
Let us do it, because I don't want to call them. I'd love to come out into the country and do it. We could pick all this up and take it out, could we?
Yeah.
Easy.
Do anything. As long as they've got the internet.
It may be my device is blurry too.
No, we're definitely not blurry.
Next stories.
I don't think so. Pub. Where are we going? Road trip.
Over there. Let's go over that.
Where's that?
Pasco Vale.
I'm not from Melbourne.
You are a Western Australian.
Where's that?
Pasco Vale over there. I'm a Tasmanian.
It's on the way to the airport.
I'm a stick Bayside. But yeah, I would love to do it from a pub, and I would love to get a crowd, and I would love to see you guys and your faces and put faces to names. Play some tunes. Absolutely. I'll get my mate
Pasco Vale Hotel.
Phil Sobrano to come along.
We could do the show that you used to be on, the show.
That show that used to be on.
You know, the one. That one.
No.
Best on ground.
Oh.
So that show.
Ouch.
No, but we could do like it's not going to be the same because it'll be better because we won't have to do all the scripted stuff.
Yeah.
And we can talk to people like in the audience, which is what the whole idea of this is about, as well as do music.
We could do a little talent show too, like open mic.
Pasco
or
Vale's got talent,
Pasco Vale's got talent.
and we'll get randoms to come and present.
It's happening, Jackie. Let's get there.
The
Let's
Riv.
get to
Gary
Pasco
reckons we're going to his house. We could do a tour.
Yeah. Every week it's a different pub.
Oh my God. That is a great idea. That's like the front bar, but we're actually in a pub and not a studio.
And I'll get a past player from Melbourne to come to every show. David needs to be all over it if it was a pub. He's opening up his own pub too, very, very shortly.
This
in
is
Albert Park.
brilliant. I have nothing to do.
Wonthaggi. Love to go to Wonthaggi. We'll go anywhere.
We'll take it on the road.
We'll go buy a Sandman.
Oh, the old panel van.
Let's just hit the road.
That'd be so good.
I've got a swag. I don't even need to start. Let's do it.
I got a blow up mattress. Does that help?
Fridays off for me from now on. Thursday night.
Thursday night. That's it. Everyone, look how quickly everyone just goes, hey, should we all go to the pub? And everyone's like, pub. Who cares? Don't even worry about the show. Let's just chat.
Templestowe pub, Louise. Yep.
Templestowe. Wow. Okay. We are on.
Yeah.
We're putting a poll out there.
But seriously, you've got to send us some really good suggestions
We are
of actual establishments.
very relaxed about what is going to happen with this show, and it sounds like we need to do it at the pub because peer pressure. A few people said we should.
Not mucking around here. We've got some unbelievable past players from the AFL. What about last week? Arch.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal. I loved everything that he said
in
last week's show. If you didn't catch it, it's on. It's in the podcast. It's in the app, of course, but everyone's got it on their phone. Just go to the
What app?
podcast app. Search it out. It's in the podcast.
It's
app.
in that phone.
That app on your phone. But also, just go online podcast. You this is your thing.
Yeah. It's on YouTube and it's on Spotify and it's on Apple Podcasts. But he's right. And you can get it, and if you didn't listen to it, it's really good because of that, especially that comment. Imagine it's your first game.
Yes, and he's at work as a Sparky. Well, he was a Sparky. And he asked his boss if he could get to Waverley Park. Could he go?
MCG.
Was the MCG?
It was at the MCG on a Friday night against Carlton.
Because I've got to play Carlton. And his boss said,
No.
check it out. Check it out. See what his boss
What
said.
did his boss say? Oh, unbelievable.
That's a great little interview. Bryce's Tavern in Marulbark.
Marulbark.
Marulbark not long ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, not for very long.
No one's picking any pubs in Bayside because there's no good pubs in Bayside. That's the problem. So let's go on the road proper.
There'll be a good...
Does Melbourne have a... because the Eagles, I know I keep mentioning it, and sorry everyone, but they have like a pub that all the loser Eagle supporters go to?
No, we used to do after matches when we played up against the Eagles and would go to a particular pub that... And there's always good pubs in Perth. I think there's great pubs in Perth.
Yeah, in Perth. But I mean, like, even in Melbourne, the Eagles have a pub that they go to.
Really.
But does Melbourne have a pub?
We used to have the Lee Oak, yes, Gary.
Lee Oak.
Then the Bentley Club. So the Lee Oak was
before
Bentley Club, and then Hassaman bought, the Melbourne Football Club bought Bentley Club. We recently sold it, so we're in the money. But the Lee Oak and the Bentley Club, but these are suburban sort of clubs that, you're the MCG, right? So and back in the day, it used to be after a game, we had a room near where our change rooms were before they knocked down the Olympic stand. And so Richmond had their rooms, Melbourne had their rooms, and just as you walked down the little laneway into your room from the outside, sort of, there was a bitumen bloody walkway all the way around the outside on the bottom level of the MCG, and you get to the Melbourne rooms, and old Melbourne bloody, so good. You walk in and the Richmond was just beyond that, and on your left as you went in there was this old room, mahogany and all of that, and behind all the glass sort of there was history stuff, but all the wives and family would sit in there before a game, and then after the game they'd go in there. But then we'd invite the opposition, and then we'd invite the umpires as well. And then it just got corporate, and we started going to those old rooms. And these guys would remember. You go to the rooms, you go to the Redlegs rooms, and you go to everyone had a different name, and two or three of us would go to one room and we'd be interviewed, and we'd talk about the game. It was always hard after a loss. But that died pretty quick. The Royal, Jackie Clark, the Royal. That's the topless bar, isn't it? The Royal.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I only know the Royal in Mornington, I don't think it's the same one.
Paul Hopgood took me to the Royal when I was 18, but I didn't have a.
That's where we can do at the pub, if we're not streaming live, you can do a proper, like, couple of stories that I know that go into a little more detail than the internet needs to hear.
Yes, because we've got some really blue stories and some footy stuff that, of course.
Above 18s.
Above 18s. And these are all above 18. Come down.
Glenn Archer, Louise said, didn't like him until the podcast.
Glenn Archer's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and I agree. Like you watch him out on the ground and you play him because he was so good, and you tend to not like the guys that are really good. But it was the look on his face; he was always angry, and you sort of think, "Oh, I wouldn't want to be around him." But he is soft, timid, nice. You wouldn't want to be on his. You wouldn't want to get in his wrong side. Let's be honest, because alpha male, of course. But yeah,
Red Legs.
Good chat, guys.
Go Red Legs. Yeah, that was fun. We got there in the end.
We've got some stuff to do. We've got to get to a pub.
We're going to go to a
Have a
pub.
look at those comments, and we'll do that.
Got to get early. Got to get our microphones sorted, and let's blow this thing up.
Let's go and have another whiskey, Davo.
Sounds good to me.
Tune in this. When are we playing?
Oh, I forgot.
Saturday.
I forgot.
What? Oh,
The
you got a
last video.
You do have a video.
Did you watch the press conference? Did you guys watch the press conference? And like, it's the worst press conference. Like, honestly, I don't know why they write these scripts. It was so boring, and I don't think anyone would have heard what was said in this press conference.
Press conference for what?
For the Tasmanian announcement. Listen really, really carefully. I'll leave. Oh no, I've got to come back.
We want to talk about it. Okay, watch this.
Everyone, well, there are big days, and then there are really big days. Decades of Tasmania fighting for the right to be represented, fully represented, in the national game, on the national stage. A game Tasmanians have helped build. A game Tasmanians have dominated.
Robertson.
Stewart, Hudson, Hart, all legends in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. Stewart, Hart, all legends. Everyone, well, there are...
Oh, I couldn't help it. I was waiting.
Did I not get a mention?
No. And you know what they did? He did that, and then he went into like Richmond greats, and he went Gale, Rewalt. Like, I started naming all these Richmond players, and I go, what? Why Richmond? That's weird. And I was like, they didn't mention Robinson.
I'm the Rodney Dangerfield.
You're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm the Rodney Dangerfield of the AFL. No respect. No respect, I take it. It's true. I had an article written about me in the Herald somewhere. I was the Rodney Dangerfield of the AFL. Just get no respect. I get respect from the Melbourne supporters, though, and that's all that matters.
That's all you need.
I love my Melbourne supporters. I love my Melbourne Demons. I never would have played for Tassie. I would have only ever played for the Melbourne Demons. That's enough for the show. Go Dees. Hope we beat the Suns. We'll see you next week as we take on the Hawks. Bye.
See ya.
Flying shot at the goal. Out of nowhere!
It'll be a long way to beat that. Michael Roachy leads with the Robertson.
It's coming home. It's coming home, Ben. Miller, the curse is finally over. The curse is finally over. Remember, guys, we wrote the rules of the game. We wrote the rules back in, what was it, 150 years ago. We wrote the rules. This win is largely due to the support of you guys. Hey guys, we're back again. Russell Robertson live.